Hello, and welcome to School Health Presents, working with our exceptional individuals during the COVID-19 pandemic. I'm Dr. Rheipp, and this is going to be a very simple video directed at you teachers and therapists out there who are embarking into a realm we haven't necessarily gone into before, and that's the whole idea of online learning. You will find in my latest blog some links to various groups, including the United States Department of Education and the Office of Civil Rights, as to what's expected for our individuals with differing abilities. You'll also find some connections to the Council for Exceptional Children website, a phenomenal webinar that was done and conducted by Dr. Kelly Grillo, talking about how do we prep for this online learning. I've had a lot of teachers come to me and say, I just don't know what to do. I don't want to sit there and make these videos and just have that come out because video representation is not going to be enough. There are some cases where there are some better videos out there that you may want to share via YouTube. Great. Use that time to put together different types of activities. What you want to do is first and foremost realize this. The most important thing you can do is connect one-on-one with your classes. Why? How? What's going on? Well, for many of you, you may be using Zoom, you may be using Google Hangouts, you may be using Skype, you may be using GoToMeeting. There are so many different things that you may be using that are now available to us because of the situation going on outside. Use those to your advantage. All of those offer the opportunity to have that connection, that one-on-one connection. But here's what you want to recognize. First and foremost, you don't need to be on any of those calls for 40 minutes, 45 minutes, or if you're in a block, 80 minutes. That is going to be draining on you and on your students. So what you want to do is take a look at things, see what your schedule is like and see what's going to work for your students, and set times within those times you'd normally be teaching those classes that you are going to connect, that you are going to reach out. Trust me, 10 minutes of contact in the morning, setting the tone for the day, and then touching base throughout the course of the day is going to be very effective, as long as you've got the days planned out. What do I mean by that? What do we need to add to things? Don't recreate the wheel. Use those different types of activities you were going to do. It's very interesting. I've had the opportunity over the last, believe it or not, almost 2 decades now, to watch different groups and how they interact within online learning. And I found that all forms of online learning can be beneficial to individuals. What I've also found is that there's no one size fits all. So when we think of online learning, oftentimes we think of something like this. Okay, so we've got, basically a correspondence course for those of us of another generation. It's much more than that. It is a way of sharing ideas, but also sharing activities and work. So the video aspect, the connection aspect is part of it. Take those documents that you've already had and put them into your Google Drive or put them onto a drive that's accessible by the individuals. Have them fill things out. Have them take tests and assessments online. Have them do things that allow for the interconnectedness of individuals. A lot of people don't realize that many of the various types of formats or platforms that we might be using, like a Zoom, like a Google Hangout, offers us the opportunity to have quote-unquote breakout areas that we can set up for our students. Let them talk, let them share. It has been amazing for me over the course of this last year to watch my son, who is now at the university level, actually work with small groups of students, no matter where they're at, whether it's on campus or now, hundreds of miles apart as they're all back in their homes. Yet they are still connecting real time. They're still able to do things. They're still able to do group projects. And the interesting thing is there is a higher level of accountability expected between these individuals because they know they're going to be graded in a differentiated way. So, as you're preparing your things for this new venture into online learning, know that there is no one set way of doing online learning. Work together. Make sure that you have for yourself everything planned out, all of your materials in the right way. And work towards the fact that the students are actually going to be getting high levels of information back and forth. Do not fret right now, because I know that there are several states where they're questioning whether or not they want to accept this whole idea of online learning as an official school day. Arguments like that have happened for years. We are going to see, because there are already states that are going online learning, just make sure that the goals are being met, and yes, we're all for it 100%. We are going to see more of a working together, and it's as we go through things that we will be able to hone our skills too. And think of it this way, and for any of you from various state departments of education who are watching this going, well, I don't believe in online learning. Guess what you're doing right now? So the idea that we want to have is to be able to take some of these things that we're doing, be able to transfer them in the future, and recognize that we're dealing with platforms that actually are better made for our students' world, not the worlds that we came from. We need to understand certain things haven't changed just because that's the way they've always been done. Why do we have a summer break? Because that's the way it's been done since we changed to the industrial age. Why? Because in the Northeast and in many of the areas that had mills, you would give the parents off during the summer. So instead of the original days of the pioneers, where you took September and October off for the harvest, suddenly you were taking June and July and part of August off because it was so hot and none of those areas were air conditioned. So this is another way of moving things forward, and it actually can increase the students' accessibility to information in the long run. Therapists, don't be afraid to do things in this type of a format, especially if you're connecting face-to-face real time with them. There's so much that can go on during that. So my message to you, don't be afraid. Plan things out. Talk to various groups. Take a look at some of the links we'll supply for you. Most importantly, connect with others like yourselves via Twitter, via platforms that allow for the exchange of positive information. We're going to get through this. We're going to get through this together, and education will be changing for the positive for many years to come. So thank you for all your hard work, and here's to all of our continued health and success.